We do love you, Leeds. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for your weekly dose of the Final Pint. As always, I'm joined by all the Leeds bros, Dillo and Darren, who's in
What's
sunny
happening,
Spain.
lads?
Yeah, what's happening? It's not as good as what's happening with you, mate. Spain, you bugger. But
I'm
yeah,
wrecked, lads. Absolutely wrecked. Long day travelling today.
And obviously, we've got Billy as well, for the first guest on the Final Pint from Southstandcamlufc LUFC, who will give us a different take on the experience at Ellen Road. Been a Southstander, carnage on it all day. As you can see, he's the only one who's not got
final
a pint.
water.
The final bottle of water. But yeah, you've had your fair share yesterday. So
we have to ease him in nice and slowly. Just gotta get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
You know? Cheers, anyway. Cheers to everyone.
Just get this up wide on it straight away. Hopefully, the Spanish Wi-Fi is better than the Dublin one, darling. 100%.
It seems to be working all right, lads. If it is, I'm not leaving. As a wife, I'm not going home. I'm staying here. As the words of Conor McGregor, I'm not leaving.
Anyone who's in for the first time, stick a like on the video, subscribe as well, please. Yeah, it's been a really good few weeks getting on top of these shows with these guys, and yeah, many more to come. So hopefully, if you enjoy it, stick a like on, subscribe, and be here for many more. So the final pint this week is to discuss the Plymouth result, which is a fantastic 3 points for me. 3-0 win. Didn't get out of second gear. Didn't need to get out of second gear. Obviously, me and Billy went to the game, not together, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd be drinking water too. But we enjoyed the game nevertheless. I took one of the twins, our Theo. I put a vlog out earlier today. So go check that out, and yeah, it documents, going down to the game with best pal Priestley as I normally do, and taking my lad for his first league game, which he thoroughly loved, and it really good getting a 5-year-old's insight when he thinks it's going to be 9-0. To be fair, at half time I sort of thought it might be 9 as well, bless him. So, but he guessed right before game. He said 3-0, so he guessed right as well. So he's a good omen. We'll have to get him back there, water. So really enjoyed it. But yeah, we'll first go around. I just want to touch on the lineups, guys. If you all just sort of run through and were you with the lineup what you were expecting. We'll start with you, Billy. What did you make of that lineup when you first read it out, pal? An hour before kickoff.
I thought it was all right, to be fair. I was surprised Dan James was starting because I thought he was injured. But
yeah, there were rumours, weren't there?
Yeah. I heard it was like a last-minute decision. So did well, did kid. So
how did you feel about Pirro starting over Joseph?
I don't know, because it's like I like to see them two together. To be fair,
we've said that.
Like I think he kind of compliment. I think Mateo compliments Peru as well. So it's one of them ones. It's like, you know what I mean. Like obviously, considering with all injuries we've got, I think we've just got as attacking threats 70% at minute. You know what I mean, where it should be. You know what I mean? Like, but to be fair though, it was a nice little goal first half. I just thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a 6-0, but it's just like in second half we kind of just let off a bit. I think. No,
I think you're right with that, mate. I think Pirro or Joseph. I think whether you start, I don't think fans are too fussed. I think either way you're getting a result either way. Whether one starts and scores or doesn't, the other one tends to come off bench and get a goal anyway. So I think either way, as a fan. I mean, I was surprised to see Pirro start. I don't know about you, Dillo. Like I say, I think he played well, and we'll touch on that later on. But big Pirro fan. Show Billy a doll just in case he hasn't seen it. And anyone else has not seen it. But
I have him chained down. He's not going anywhere, so he stays there. But yeah, I just have to get a bit of I'm going to say orange paint, because like, you see the way his hair is. I have to just brush it up a little bit just to give him that kind of natural vibe that he is in my presence, So. Yeah. Look, we'll. I'm delighted. He got another goal.
No, not too bad. How did you feel to line up, Darren? Any surprises for you?
Straight after Bristol City, I was saying, well, I think we were all saying Joseph needs to come back in because Pirro had a poor one. Wasn't great against Watford, and then he was poor against Bristol. Didn't offer us anything up front. The pressing wasn't there, and obviously the thing that you want your striker to do is score a goal. He didn't do it either. So I think after Bristol City, we were all kind of saying Joseph to come back in. Then Monday or Tuesday, I got thinking about it, and what would Fark be thinking? What's Fark going to do? And we said it, Dylan, on our match build-up for Bristol City. And I said he was going to go with Pirro again. And the reason being because, and it was no disrespect to Plymouth, they're not a great side. Wayne Rooney's managing them. And I said it, Dylan, I think he's going to go Pirro again. And I actually don't mind it because I think the way we're going to get at them, is down the wings and get crosses into the box and play to Pirro's strengths. And that's exactly what we done. So I didn't mind when I seen the lineup coming out, and obviously I voice noted it into our group as well. And I was saying I told you he was going to start Pirro. I just had a feeling that he wouldn't drop him. I thought it would have been kind of very, not harsh. It would have been the right decision, but I think it would have knocked Pirro's confidence a good bit if he did do it. And that's why I think Pirro is one, or Farke is one of them to give them another chance. And he did that with Pirro. And look, I thought he was class yesterday, but we played with strengths. And when we do that, get the ball wide and get crossed into the box. That's where Pirro comes to life, and especially in and around the box when we're trying to play it up, waiting for him to hold it up and get the balls in around the corner. His touch is horrendous. That's just not his game. But if we played to his strengths, for me, Pirro, he's the best finisher. Not even just in Leeds, he's the best finisher in the league. So, yeah, to me, look, a Farke got a spot on, and that's what he's paid to do.
No, I agree, Darren. I looked at stats today. I think he's got a goal or an assist on average every 88 minutes. Yeah. So, I mean, imagine if he'd have played, because he hadn't been injured, imagine if he'd have played 90 minutes for these 12, 13 games. You know, he could have doubled his figures, to be fair. So, like you say, you know what you're going to get with Pirro. You know, with that sort of finish, instinctive, not much time in front of goal. There's no one else in league you'd want. You know what I mean? We know what kind of player he is. Yeah. Joseph, a little bit like Bamford, does a lot of the running, or Bamford of old does a lot of running. When he gets in those areas, when he gets in those areas, I don't know what his mindset's like, but maybe it's a little bit hazy. Whereas when it comes to Pirro, you know, he's just, you know, cool, calm and collected. Yeah, he's just lethal, mate. He only needs one, doesn't he? And it tends to go in. Whereas, you know, Joseph's still young. I mean, Pirro, I didn't realise Joe said today, Joe Women said he's only 24, he's Pirro. I was shocked by that. I thought
you think he's older. You think he was nearly pushing 30, God love him.
Yeah. I was shocked with that. But, so we'll start, obviously, that first 15, 20 minutes. Dillo, you say quite a lot, you know, tend to start really well and not put chances away. I mean, we got control of the game from the first kick, obviously, but I feel like it were quite a slow opening 15, 20 minutes. I thought Plymouth looked quite well organised, to be fair, in that first 20, without doing anything, don't get me wrong. They had none of the possession, they had none of the ball. We were shifting them left and right, but I was looking at Rooney and he seemed quite animated on that touchline. I feel like for the first 15, 20 minutes, they did what they were hoping to do for a longer period of time. Obviously, we'll touch on the goals afterwards, but were you nervous at all, even with that opening 15, 20 minute spell, or did you sort of see how the game were going to pan out? You were just waiting for that goal?
Yeah, I was definitely only waiting for the goal, but
yeah,
going back to what I said previous, I was being very optimistic and nervous over the next, 6 games. Obviously, now we've to before the international break. But I said to myself, someone is probably gonna do us here, just because, as I said, it's the easy way. But when I seen the lineup, I was surprised but confident. I was very confident going into that game. Now, I was very severely hungover as well, but I was very confident. Look, the lads really did do a great job. I thought Byram done excellent. He done a job.
Yeah,
there.
where was the hate coming from, lads, from Byram?
He done unbelievable. If I'm being honest. Fair play to him. I think me and Darren did say yesterday on our match reaction. I can't really be negative towards any of the players that started when I came on, or started. There was a few still sloppy passes from Rodon. This is me just being niggling at certain things, but every time the ball was given away, there was someone there to win it back. For example, DJ. So I feel like he's back again. He's back.
Literally, my internet's gone at home.
See, lads, I'm not the only one. It happens. Happens to the best of us, lads.
Don't worry about it, Bill. Don't worry about it.
I just had to put you on my phone, but
happens to the best of us. But it just seems like with DJ, he really stepped up considering the injury. Like we're going on about Solomon. DJ really just grabbed the opportunity and he took it. And I just, people say Tanaka or Rotwell. I think they've been so consistent where I can't really single them out because they've done such a great job. But for DJ, for the circumstances of the injury, he came back and he just hit it off straight away. His speed is back. His goal was phenomenal. And then it's just pressing, his overall defending, offensive play.
He just looked a lot sharper, didn't he, yesterday?
Yeah, he was brilliant. But yeah, look, overall, the first 15 minutes, I was just kind of, nervous, as you could say. Saying to myself, this could either be a great game, or I could be end up throwing the remote at the telly and smashing the telly up altogether. But no, look, they deserved it. They were a better team. Plymouth didn't really offer anything, to be honest. Rooney out by next week, I'd say. But yeah, overall great performance. 3 points on the board. Not bad way to finish the weekend.
Yeah, no, I agree, Paul. Totally agree. Billy, how did you feel in that opening 20 minutes or so? It were quite a timid atmosphere in Hill Road, until that first goal went in, the roof came off. But it were quite, I won't not say nervy, but I feel like we're always just waiting for something to happen as Leeds fans, because we're such a dominant side, and they didn't threaten us at all any time in game. But for that opening 20, like I was just saying, when you're off, it's like, as a fan, you just sat waiting. You can't really. I mean, you're at South Stand. Obviously, I'm in East Stand, so I don't get that energy you probably feel stood in South Stand.
You're up in nosebleeds.
Yeah, I'm up at nosebleeds, in posh seats. But yeah, I tend to feel there's a bit of expectancy this season. I know we have moments like I said, roof came off for those 8 minutes when we scored 3 goals. It was fantastic. But even afterwards, do you reckon that's because we just, as fans, we expect to win these games? We just expect to churn them out, Billy, and you're just waiting for that goal to go in?
I think the atmosphere, this last 10 games of last season and this season, I don't know. I think atmosphere is just a bit
subdued.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to force it, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And I think it's like, obviously, like, I think everyone just expects it to be like Norwich, like in semi-finals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every time, and like, it's not gonna be like that.
No.
But I suppose it's like you've got a lot of, you know what I mean? Like you've got all your diehards in where I am anyway. So it's like, I think the atmosphere has been a bit weird over last couple of months.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I think, like what you said, I think it is like people are just expecting it to be like that all the time.
Oh, of course, but I mean, you'll agree, Billy. Like if we're 4-0 down against Scum, or 3-0 down against City, or any of these at Ellen Road, the atmosphere tends to be better because it's like us against World. It's like, well, we'll show you if we're losing on pitch as fans will make sure with every video on social media going forward for that week, look how good Leeds fans are. But I feel like in games when we play minnows, like your Plymouth and these teams, it's like we are just sat there like, yeah, we're 2-0 up, we're 3-0 up. Yeah, let's move on now. We're ready for a game to just blow up and move on. I think as Leeds fans, sometimes you forget to enjoy the moment. Sometimes because you're always waiting for promotion or next week, and sometimes you just need to live in that moment. And I assume you when you're seshed up on at 3:00 on a Saturday, I'm sure you are in that South Stand loving that moment. And I just feel like a lot of people don't do that, mate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like where I sit, it's like it's wicked when you're winning, but horrible when you're losing. So obviously, like other season when we're in Premier League getting battered getting battered every week, it were horrible.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then you get, you get your wins, and then it's like, like it's like my best mate says to me, he's like, when we got relegated, he's like, and he's not a football fan at all, and he's like, do you know what, mate, you're gonna be happier though. It's like, you're gonna be happier next season. So it's like, because it ruins your weekend. There's a loss.
Right,
I don't care what anyone says. It ruins your weekend.
It does. I mean,
do you think, lads, with the atmosphere? Sorry, Matty, that because I even remember back at the League one days, like going over to Leeds, not even having to buy a ticket. You'd go to the ticket office before 10-15 minutes before the game. You could pick one up, no bother at all. And that was probably one of the best, like around that time was the best atmosphere in Elland Road. Like that was sometimes 15, 18, 20,000 people, and the atmosphere would be rocking at Elland Road. Like I still have videos on my phone. Do you think that it was the build up, how good the atmosphere was, like especially under Bielsa, like some of the atmospheres, like think back to like the 4-0 win against West Brom, Pablo Hernandez scoring after 13 seconds, like some of the atmospheres run well. Do you think it's the build up after the 16 years of kind of hurt, like kind of like this bubble that's grown that's just waiting to burst? And then when we got back to the Premier League, and we all kind of had this dream of the Premier League being the best league in the world, and obviously look, the first season COVID we weren't there for, unfortunately, and finishing ninth. But then it was kind of every season after that, like we went to some of the Jesse Marsh games as well, and it was just absolutely horrendous. Like it was really bad, and you think we all kind of looked around and said after that, well, this isn't what it's all cracked up to be. And you think that's kind of in the back of Leeds fans' head, that now that we're back in the Championship, that it's not that much pressure like it was after 16 years. Like we're only out of it 2 seasons, do you think that might have a part to play in it? That, you know, it's not that bubble that's waiting to explode, and we kind of know what the Premier League is like.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'll jump in on that, Bill. I'd say, like you say, it's one of them where when you're up against it, I tend to think Leeds fans sort of stick ones up at everybody and sort of, so I'll show you, you know what I mean? And then you climb that mountain, you get to the top of it with Bielsa, and no feels as good. We've touched on it before, haven't we? The Bielsa widows, you know, it's sort of ruined football for us going forward now. You know, we can win 3-0 at home, get 3 points, and we're still discussing feeling a little bit flat. You know, you obviously you travelled over to Cardiff away game as well, didn't you, with Darren? And we've touched on that before. You know, your draws against Bristol City away, you know, drawing to Norwich and Sunderland, not bad results, but it tends to be now we need to absolute white floor with someone. And have get the 3 points and play fantastically well. Oh, there'll always be question marks against Farke, against Atmosphere, but yeah, I mean, obviously I was at the game and it's definitely a little bit subdued. But let's just get back to the game in question. And when those 3 goals went in, I mean, we've got this thing at minute now where we control games even if we don't look threatening. We totally nullify any threat they've got just by keeping possession. You know, they can't score a goal while we've got the ball. And even if we're not playing, even if we're not on pomp and we don't look threatening, we're really good at keeping possession. Like, we rarely lose it. You know, early in season you had Rodon who looked a bit shaky at back with his passing, but now I think his passing's really clean, really precise. His pass percentages in the last 4 or 5 games are through roof, and we don't tend to lose ball. We're really good at controlling it. So, you know, when we get that goal early-ish, which I think we're half an hour mark, it's really easy to build that momentum when you've got the ball. And, you know, the roof came off when James scored that. And I just want to touch on Dan James. For someone who, like Billy said, we didn't expect to see him on, you know, starting, that's for sure, with rumour of his, I think it was his tight hamstring. But it was a bit of a bad touch, but he's getting a bit of stick for the toe poke, but I tell you what, if that's a toe poke, it's best one I've seen in a long time, because that were a phenomenal goal in a moment where, like I say, you're looking at clock as a fan and you're thinking, right, we've had all ball, they've had no chances, we're hitting half an hour here, and they're praying to get to half time at that point, and that goal just changed everything, you know, and just
the floodgates opened then.
Yeah, the floodgates opened, mate, and you know, you could see Rooney on sideline, he were really happy up till half an hour mark, and then within 8 minutes we've just outdone them. But I just think Dan James, for me, is such a loyal member of that side. You know, he got shipped out to Fulham. He's played up front for us. You know, he's never really had that until Farke came in. Never really got given that vote of confidence for me, and Farke's really given him that. And if it weren't for injuries, I think Nonto wouldn't have got much of a look in last season, because James was. Yeah. He was right up there last year, to be fair.
Look at him in the final. His chance off the bar in the final. Like, if that goes in, lads, like, he goes down as a legend. Even if we go on to lose that 100%. Game, like what you said, Matty, like, all you want to see, I think we all want to see, is just Leeds scoring at Wembley. Like, and if that had went in the back of the net, lads, he would have went down as a Leeds hero. Like that. We even look back at Becchio's one. Do you remember in the cup against Chelsea? Like, we still watched that back, even though we got thumped that game. Like, there's all these goals. So for me, like, what we've done to Dan James, even from nearly signing him Swansea, he goes to Scum, and then he eventually does come to us, and it was kind of like the miracle kind of ending with him and Bielsa, because Bielsa always wanted him, and for a lot of time under Bielsa, he didn't play his position. Like, Bielsa was playing him up front, playing him in the 10. It's just not his natural position. And then when he was shipped off to Fulham, I think we all thought as Leeds fans, like, we're never going to see Dan James, but he came back, lads, and like exactly like Aronson, like, he's hit the ground running, took it in a stride, and it's just proved everyone wrong. And it's just, couldn't be happier from him. For me, if you had 11 Dan James out on the pitch, lads, it was just because he just runs his socks off everything. Technically not the best player, but my God, lads, he gives you heart, and sometimes that's what you need to get through games.
Oh, Darren, 100%. But would you not agree? I'll go to you, Dillo, on this. Would you not agree that he's looking a little bit more technically able at the minute? Like, I get what you mean, Darren. He's
improving. He's definitely 100% improving on the Farke. 100%.
He's never gonna be technically gifted, I don't think, you know. But the way he's playing now, you know, we always tend to think play ball over the top, let Dan James run in behind, which we've seen still at moments of season. But I don't know about you, Dillo. Like yesterday, he looked quite confident getting the ball at feet and running at his, at his left back.
Definitely, he's real. Yeah. It's like he's matured. Like, obviously, he's a lot older now from when we originally got him, but when he was with Swansea that time. But he's just matured as a player, and I don't mean like the way Nonto is at the minute currently, you know, a bit childish, and he's improved on that, but he's matured in a he's not that little Dan James anymore. You know, he's becoming well, he is a man, but you know what I mean. Like
he's become like the experienced player in the team now, isn't he? He's getting to that because obviously the old guard is starting to go out, and it feels like that Dan James is gradually stepping into that kind of, that kind of the experienced player, the longest being here, and that. So couldn't be happy.
Definitely, he even when he was with United as well, like you could see that he had that flair in him as well. But look, this just wasn't the place for him. Leeds was, simple. So no, he played brilliant yesterday. As I said, he was man of the match for me. I think just his speed alone is what can get us goals or get himself goals. But his defensive play, if the ball was lost, he was the first person putting tackles in, to win the ball back. He was always looking for it, and then the commentator had even hit the nail on the head as well. Every time Leeds were getting the ball, they were just hitting from every time, just straight out to the wing. So he played brilliant for me. Anyway, he was definitely man of the match for me, and hopefully there's many more to come with him.
It would up there for me. Billy, are you a big Dan James fan? Do you think it's a bit of a secret weapon? Well, not so secret, but it's just a massive weapon to have in it when you look at wingers and tricky wingers, which we've got in abundance, and you've got someone like Dan James who I think is growing into that role now, like lads say, with his experience and all that. Like that raw pace, there's something to be said for raw pace in football, and he's such a talent.
No, it definitely has improved. Obviously, like a couple of seasons ago, was it a couple of seasons ago? It literally had no touch, no finishing product.
Yeah.
But they were just like
his crossing was horrendous as well at times, lads, wasn't it? Like he just couldn't cross a ball to save his life.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he has whatever coaches are doing with him behind the scenes, it's obviously working.
Yeah, I feel like when he gets into that final third, a bit like we were saying earlier with Matteo Joseph, like I feel like maybe a bit of red mist, or he just didn't have no clarity on what he wanted to do when he got to the byline or when he got anywhere near their goal. And like now, I just feel like he can go to the byline and whip a crossing. He can even turn back inside now and play a float one with his left foot. He just looks, all round just a top winger. And I know it's at this level, and I don't know if the drop down in leagues has helped him. If it has, I aren't bothered. He's going to be growing in confidence game by game. And people say we'll see in Premier League. And for me, with that pace, if he's flying high, why can't he do it in Premier League? He's got a lot to prove. And I think
don't understand why he didn't get started in final.
Yeah, no, I thought
he was one of our best wingers, wasn't he? Yeah, he was one of our best wingers to the final.
He won't fire then.
He's always gonna, Billy. I think he's always gonna suffer as Dan James with that because he's such a good impact player as well. Who else have you got who's that quick and can create an impact off at bench? And as much as you don't want to be labelled a super sub, I feel like he's got all the attributes, hasn't he? If you can stay in a game, you want Dan James coming off, off the bench. Rather than Dan James being leggy after 70 minutes, you'd rather him be coming on 70 minutes. So I tend to think in certain big games and certain moments it might get used for that, especially with the talent we've got in that front line. But I think, like I said, I just wanted to touch on Dan James because I feel like the rise he's had at Leeds United, it hasn't been easy, and every hurdle he's sort of faced, he's got through, and he tends to get a lot of injuries. And when he comes back in team, I mean, I thought of Bristol last week, he was sound. He missed a few chances, he got a bit of stick for that. But for me, he doesn't tend to take 3 or 4 games to get back in swing of it. For last season and a half now, if he's out for a couple of weeks, he comes back and within a game or two, he's flying again, and he's such a good weapon. He is, and I know we've got wingers in abundance, and I'd like to touch on Solomon as well, lads. I thought when he came on yesterday, I were nervous for him. I thought we're 3-0 up, game's gone, but he needs to have a good performance here because he's the next scapegoat, or was going that way, which I'm sure you'll all agree. You all read on social media, and yeah, Darren, I thought he looked when he came on. He had a bit of confidence about him. He got fouled 3 times, I think. His first 3 touches of ball were really worried. They were cutting back inside, which I tend not to like with him. But because he had Firpo on left-hand side, as opposed to Byram, him cutting back inside didn't matter because Firpo offered that width, so it kept that defender always guessing. So that worked really well with Firpo. And I thought he looked a class above when he came on for me. I don't know if I'm a bit too strong with that, but I thought he really looked good, mate.
Yeah, I thought he looked all right.
Yeah, I thought he looked good as well. Like, I don't see kind of where the hate he's getting. Like, it's not like he's the only option that we have, and he's not producing. At Bristol City, I do agree. I think he looked very kind of disillusioned when he came on against Bristol City. He didn't really want it. Didn't kind of look like a player that was trying to get back into the side and prove himself. And for him as well, lads, like this loan is a massive, massive thing in his career. Like if it doesn't work here at Leeds, he goes back to Spurs and they look at it and go, well, where do we go next with Solomon? Like the injuries, it didn't work out at Leeds. Like where does he go for? So for him himself and his career, like he has to make this work as well. So it's in the best interest for us. We want the best out of him to get us out of this league. If we get promoted, do I think we'll buy him? No, I don't. But for him himself and his career, he has to start pulling up his socks, and I think we will see the best of Solomon. As I would have keep saying to Dylan, if we can even have him fit for half of the games this season, he's gonna make an impact for us, and that's him fit and sharp. He's nowhere near fit and sharp at the minute. I think we all seen when we came back, he was obviously getting a bit of guff online about carrying a bit of weight and stuff like that. He just wasn't match sharp, lads, and he's gradually building his way back into it. And it was a back injury that he had. It's a serious thing. And yeah, I thought that he looked all right when he came on. It's definitely improving. It's getting better. And yeah, I wouldn't be throwing the book at Solomon yet. I think he is going to come going. There's a long, long way to go in this season. So I certainly wouldn't be throwing me at it. And who knows? We've seen the injuries that we've had, lads. Anything could happen. And all of a sudden, then he could be our starting man. So yeah, I wouldn't be throwing me hat at Solomon. Yeah.
I think it's the expectations as well, though. Like, from him coming from Tottenham, and he's a Premier League player. That he should be performing. Obviously with injuries, but then like with Jet Spence last year as well. Like it's maybe fans are just saying, well, why are we wasting our time on these players that are prone to be injury or prone? But like it's like anything, you buy a new car, or a new phone. Probably 1 of 5 of them are going to be the dodgy one now of something, So, like Solomon's, he hasn't done, apart from the slip, like he hasn't been performing, but he hasn't done anything drastically wrong. Like yesterday, he done all right as far as he done all right anyway the other day for me. Anyway, when he came on, he made, he kind of showed us his abilities and his attributes. With that, in the next couple of weeks, he needs to start performing more on a high, whether it's assists or goals, but only time will tell. But I can tell you one thing, when Ramazani comes back and DJ is performing the way that he is, it's going to be hard for Fark as well to start.
Oh man, I'm smiling.
Even for Nanto as well, lads, because look, I think Nanto has been really good, probably one of our best players. But we obviously talked about it, Dylan, on the inter-match reaction with Just Joe, and we just feel like Nanto should be giving us that like little bit more like in goals and assists way. Like he is getting involved in the game, he is making things happen, he's making space, he looks good on the ball, he always looks dangerous. It's just he hasn't been hitting that G&A, and that's something that now that seems to have just crept into modern football now, where all we look at is goals and assists, and that's the only thing that matters. But for me, it will come with Nanto as well. But at the moment, with the way James is playing and the way Ramazani was, you could very easily see Nanto slip out of the team as well, or does Farke change it up and take Aronson out and try Nanto in the team? But it'd be very, very hard to take Aronson out of that team at the minute, the way he's playing and the output that he's given us as well. So
I think we can all agree, though, it's the competition that needs to be had. Whether like if Solomon does start playing well, Ramazani's injury free, and Nanto and James and everyone week in week out is probably getting a goal. You want Fark to have that backup and that, like as Matty said as well. Let's say Solomon and Ramazani start and Nanto and Dan James are on the bench. So at the 70th minute, there'd be nothing better to see Nanto and Dan James coming on. It's given us as fans that kind of, oh my God, Dan James for the next half an hour running up and down the pitch like a lunatic. It's great. And then as well, the situation between Joseph and Pirro. I'm starting to believe, I didn't actually say that to you, Matty, over the last couple of games, it's kind of just clicked with me more and more that Pirro is the type of player for certain opponents. And I think it was you that said that at the start. And
different horses for different courses, yeah.
I have to agree with you when it comes to that. And then even down to the midfield as well, lads. Like, if Ampadu and Gruev come back, like, I actually feel sorry for Fark if all these players come back injury free, because that is an absolute headache. Stuff. You know what I mean?
But when have we had that though? Like you say, we say as fans though, I don't want to be him. Like it's what he gets paid good money for best job in the world for me. And yeah, I'm just excited. Like you look at that bench, and we've had some turgid players play for Leeds, and that bench has been so poor. It's either littered with kids or littered with people who just aren't interested in being at club. And for me, it's scary, to think of us fully fit. But when are we ever fully fit? So I even I'm going to go there without.
That's exactly it, and that's what squad is there for. You're going to get suspensions and injury as well. Like it's going to be very rare if we ever get to a point this season where we have everyone available, but like, probably not. But like that's what the squad is there for. Do you know what I mean? It should be a squad that sees us up out this league very easily. Like.
I think it'd be just great though to see us as fans come Friday or Saturday when we're doing match build up or predicting lineup, predicting score, to turn around and go, I actually don't know who's going to start. You know, like it might be such and such, and 4 of us can end up getting it wrong. Do you know that kind of way? Saying I'll start Dan James and Ramazani, but it could be Nanto and Solomon. You just, if these players are injury free, it's great to see that competition is there. Everyone's fighting for a place to get Leeds promoted, and as well for their own careers, like what Darren said about Solomon, whether he is here next year, probably not likely, but it's still good for his career. Whether Nanto's here as well, it's that competition, it's that flair, it's that hunger and desire. And
anyone, even the young lads coming on as well, Crew and Chambers coming on as well. Like how good is that to see as well? As like obviously we lost Archie Gray last season, and then I think us as Leeds fans, we're kind of notorious for our academy that's just this conveyor belt of talent constantly coming through, and numerous players over the years. So you're kind of thinking, when is the next one coming along? And to see Charlie Crew and Sam Chambers coming on, I said it as well, and before the match build up, I wanted that Plymouth game to be like that. I wanted us to kind of be home and home, so we could get a look at these players, have a look at the Charlie Crew, have a look at the Chambers. Gilavogi hadn't played yet, and it was the perfect match to try them lads, where there was no pressure at all. And even that as well, like that's great for them lads. Like they're coming onto the pitch, no pressure on them. Charlie Crew, the pop a goal, he was unlucky as well. So it's just at the moment around Leeds, it feels like the positivity is back, it's grown. And I said it then, I feel like at the start of the season, a lot of luck was against us at the start of the season. We got a lot of injuries, and the Melier situation and the Solomon slip, it was just kind of always just felt like it's just the typical Leeds bad luck. It was just the footballing world was against us. But it just feels like now that we're starting to get 1 or 2 back, and the tide is starting to turn, and hopefully it doesn't. I feel now over the next couple of games, Millwall, I think it starts on Wednesday, and I can see Leeds going on a run, getting top and just creating this gap. I actually met a Sunderland fan checking in there today. He was like kitted out in a Sunderland gear, like jersey, shorts and all. I just turned around and Leeds are going up, and I knew by him he wasn't one of them that could turn around, kind of give it back. He kind of just gave me the side eye and walked off. I was like, all right, Joe, you're one of them, so you're one of them that hates us, like. But it's embarrassment of riches, is what you were saying, mate. This squad is just sprinkling talent right across the park. What do you think is happening with the Isaac Schmidt situation, lads? Because that's probably one thing that is kind of
the only negative from that game. I
wouldn't say negative, it's just the only thing that kind of left a little question mark for me, because Byram not playing 90 minutes for so long, played 2 90s in 2 weeks, or 2 90s in 2 games. Would that not have been the perfect time to kind of get an Isaac Schmidt on? Because obviously we've been told he's been brought in as right back cover.
It's an hard one with Schmidt, isn't it? Because he can play multiple positions. He can play left back, right back. He's played centre mid. I think he came on for us earlier this season for 10 minutes. I think right or left mid. So he can play multiple positions, a bit like Dallas. But have you got to touch on that, Billy? Are you?
Yeah, I don't get why he's not.
Strange, isn't it?
You'd have expected him to come on.
Especially in a game like that. It was made for him to. I mean,
when we signed him, lads, he just scored on it the day before in Conference League.
He scored, in the Conference League.
So he was playing in Europe, scoring goals, playing 90 minutes, and then he's come to Leeds, and it must be demoralising, Billy, to be sat there. I mean, we're picking on a negative here, but it's probably all the negative I can pick on.
I wouldn't say the negative, though, mate. I'd say it's just a question mark, isn't it? Like, what were you?
Because you think if you're Schmidt and you sat on that bench, he's made. I think he made 4, well, maybe 5 subs, and you're seeing kids come on for the debuts, and you've got Sam Byron playing right back, his second full 90 minutes in back to back, as someone who notoriously can't play 90 minutes or over a long period of time. Surely Schmidt would have been thinking after that game, why didn't I get 15 minutes, Billy, at least?
Yeah, I don't get why he's not playing. Fark must obviously think there's obviously something behind it.
Something in training, maybe he's not seeing enough.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's you know what I mean. It's like not giving his all in training. It's like, well, I'm not going to play you.
We saw it last year with Cresswell, didn't we? When Farker has something against you, whether it's a minor thing or a major thing, Farker's not bothered about the outside noise. He'll just throws you out, won't he?
Go what he thinks.
100%. Which I think, I think that's weird, but.
It's
a long season, though, boys. It's a long season.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it might be one of them, mate, where he's he's just not seeing enough at the minute. But there's no saying he can't turn it around. I mean, the
He
fact
can
he's
turn
still
it around, yeah.
yeah. I mean, lads, the fact he's still on bench probably says something. You know, he's on the bench, and you know, if Byron would have got injured, he'd have had to go to him. So he must trust him to a degree, because if you're on bench, you've got to be willing and ready to go, aren't you? But I definitely feel it's worth bringing up. There's got to be something there. And as a I think he's 24-year-old footballer sitting there, there's no way that have knocked him. You know, definitely that he'll have
had
gone
to a little bit, yeah,
100%. And you know, to turn a negative into a positive a little bit there, it's only going to drive him more on training, in it, because it's clearly training where he's not seeing enough. So it's up to him to do it. And you know,
it's like what Billy said there. Like, it's a long season. Like, in that game like that, Bogle's out, suspension. We all know what Boyram, he can easily break down at any time, and then he is thrown straight in the deep end, or, you know, Bogle and vice versa. It is a very, very long season. So yeah, it might turn. I thought it was kind of the one thing that left in the game, left me question mark. Now, delighted to see the young lads coming on, but I would have liked to see Smith, you know, get a little run out, especially for Boyram after playing so much football and hadn't played in quite a while. But yeah, just thought it was a topic to bring up, just to see what everyone's thoughts was on it.
Is he getting any time in under 21s?
I don't think
I haven't even seen him in the 21s, because I've been keeping an eye out on. That's what I've been keeping an eye out on the 21 squads, because it's kind of a barometer to kind of see where Fark is, isn't it, with what he thinks with the players, and he hasn't even been in the 21 squad as well. So it's strange.
It's a bit weird. Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Danny said, I've heard that Fark said that Schmidt is struggling with the physical part of the league. Don't know how true that is, though. I mean, it's hard to say, because we've only seen him for 10 minutes.
We haven't seen him. I think has he got three sub appearances or something like that, probably 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, he equals about 12 minutes over 2 or 3 he's had, Darren. So it's crazy when you think he were playing, like I say, 90-minute games in Europe. I know Conference League, but still, it's, you know, it might be in a minnow league, I suppose, but it's a decent level if you're playing in Europe competition. You know, it's definitely equal to Championship, isn't it? You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But I do think, with it being a 46-game season and Leeds, we tend to pick up injuries. I do think we'll see him at some point. Hopefully, this time out, the side's going to propel him on. I mean, we saw last year, didn't we? Gruev took a while to get into his floor. He
that's true.
We were saying the same thing. He wasn't trusted up till pretty much Christmas, and then after that, he won a mainstay.
He's probably one of our mainstay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he went from being a nobody to be first name on team sheet to a degree for Farker, liking that, you know, the way he played in that midfield role. So
he's got that free kick, wasn't it?
Oh mate, that was outstanding. Wasn't it? He's got that locker though, Gruev, hasn't he? But obviously we're not missing him too much. So, you know, as we've moved on to Gruev, we'll move on to the midfielders that are playing at the minute instead of Ampadu and Gruev. I mean, I haven't seen a midfield duo like this in a long time. I don't want to start making no loudish claims, but these two just complement each other so well. I mean, Billy, for £3 million, let's talk about Tanaka.
Hey-o.
And there it is.
Why was I thinking that as well?
What a player.
Yeah, like a Rolls Royce, isn't it?
Mate, we sold Kamara for $8 million and brought in Tanaka for $3 million.
What an upgrade.
Yeah, and he's probably been one of our standout players.
Instant fan favourite as well, Billy. Instant.
You've got Sam Byram, who's a Leeds fan. Played for us for years and got a chance. And then literally you've got a guy who's been here 2 minutes, and literally, it's like that. All throughout game, you just hear, hey-o. Hey-o.
It's a dream signing. I mean, you've signed him for next to nothing. So financially, it's a perfect move. I don't think his wages will be massive high coming from Bundesliga 2. You've got, you know, he's a Japanese international, which isn't great from a Leeds perspective every time international break comes up, because he's travelling quite far. But, you know, you're not an international regardless of who you play for if you're not a talented player. And then you look at it and just go, he's got everything you need, you know. I mean, for that midfielder, we've spoke before, Darren. He can play in 6, he can play in 8, he can play in 10, he can play anywhere in midfield. He looks solid at the back.
Quality, do a job.
Mate, he could probably play centre half for Leeds where he plays. Just whether he's breaking up play, you know, forward thinking with his passing. We actually saw a different side to him against Plymouth because we were playing so high up as they allowed us to go onto him. He was having shots, and he hit target with a good shot, and it's nice to see that side of him, because obviously he's played ultra defensive. Really, he's been out of the two of them. Him and Rothwell, he's been really defensive. But it was nice to see him. Yeah, it was nice to see them both up there and both looking a threat from outside the box.
Because I think we'd get the best out of him if we had Ampadu back in there. And it's nothing against Joe Rothwell. I love him, and I'm sure we'll come on to him. But could you imagine if you had Ampadu sitting and you had Tanaka to go and do that? Look, it's just unbelievable.
We said before. I mean, I personally think Ampadu's a better centre half than a midfielder. But when he comes back, if everyone remains fit, you know, that is such an hard decision to make. I mean, Aronson, he's outperforming anything I expected of him this season. And at the minute, we're one of the first names on team sheet, but I wouldn't rule out even potentially him dropping out and maybe putting Tanaka or Rothwell in 10 just to try and accommodate Ampadu somewhere in that midfield.
Just to get him in there, yeah.
If it gets to a point where Rothwell and Tanaka are undroppable, I don't think he'll ever get back in. I know he's out for longer, but you can't see a scenario really where Ampadu doesn't get back in, and it might just mean, you know, that he's got to shift it around a bit to accommodate him, especially being captain as well. Although I do think if you just shimmy someone in for who they are, you know, in the dressing room, it can turn a little bit.
I
know what Farker's like, and he'll have to earn that shirt back. But yeah, I do think Ampadu comes back in relatively soon after he's fit. But yeah, what a headache. But
is he out till January?
Yeah,
I think didn't they say that he'd be back training, supposedly back training around Christmas time, just before Christmas, and then the hope in January then he'd be back in there for games then. But knee injury sounded like a bad one. I'd say probably mid to end January by the time we see him.
The best thing is though, lads, we don't have to rush him back, do we? You know, as it stands.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because you remember we were doing that with Bamford when Bamford kept breaking down. Do you remember it was just this constant thing of rushing him back and he'd break down again? And it's just it's not the right way to go about football when you're rushing players back from injury to get them in there. Yeah, it's not right. So, but going back to the midfield, lads, like I actually thought, don't shoot me down for this, I thought Joe Rotwell was just the conductor. I thought he was unbelievable. And I don't think he got the full flowers he deserved because he got taken off. It was 15, 20 minutes to go. He got whipped off, and then Tanaka just took complete control of the midfield. But Joe Rotwell was everywhere as well, lads. He was just as good. But yeah, the two of them are just unbelievable. Like what you said, Matty, they just complement each other so well. That just the synergy between the two of them is just quality, absolutely quality.
For me, that was just so natural with them. That's why I kind of gave it to DJ. That they've just been so consistent. Like the performance did drop a little bit in Bristol. And before that as well, but they haven't done like anything wrong. If anything, they're just doing everything right. So
that's why I think they check ourselves, because when Ampadu and Gruev was injured, lads, like I think we'd all say, lads, we were all saying we are in this shit here. Like how, like what are we gonna do? We're looking at Charlie Crew. We're all looking at Joe Rotwell originally saying we're after bringing him as like our fourth choice, and we're like, well, how are we gonna get through this? We have to get out of this league this season. So I remember just being absolutely rattling about it, going, how are we gonna get out of this league? And the two of them, like what you said, mate, they just came in, ducked to water. The both of them was just absolutely flawless. The both of them.
Is it fair to say, Billy, we've probably got more points now than we would have had if Ampadu and Gruev would have remained fit?
Ooh.
Do you reckon
Be careful what you say now, Billy. Think about it.
What do you reckon of that, boys?
No.
That's you know what that is. That's throwing a firework into a bonfire. That's what you're out to do.
No, it is.
I think we've got more points now than we would have had if they'd stayed fit. That might be. I wonder what chat's going to say. But yeah, what do you think, Billy? Because we're more forward thinking. We're not as reserved, and you know don't get me wrong, we've got a few draws in.
Definitely would have had less goals anyway. 100% would have had less goals.
I think we've got that problem anyway. You know what I mean? Like as soon as Ramazani went off against Watford.
Yeah, we had nothing in that game.
He went to shit,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And it's like, oh my God, how are we going to get through this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like people are just, you know what I mean, stepping up to the mark like you Dan Jameses.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
We're not reliant really, are we, on one or two stars like last year, Billy? You know, Somerville and Rutter, they were our stars. We're not reliant on anyone now. Everyone's sort of stepping up. You know,
everyone's chipping in.
Everyone doing that bit,
it's gonna be interesting, and like obviously we just need to get that goal difference up now.
Yeah, that could be crucial, mate.
That was the perfect opportunity against Plymouth as well. We just that was probably the one little thing that the second half we just didn't really put the foot down and put them to the sword. But I think Matty, you've said it as well. It's just a thing with Daniel Farke team. He never seems to do it when we go 2-3-0 up. It's just like just sit in, don't waste any energy, see the game out. Probably one thing in the second half, he would have liked to see us go and get another one or two and bring the goal difference up a little bit, because anything can happen in this league. And it could be typical Leeds where it'll come down to a goal or two. Do you know what I mean? So,
what was the predictions of the score? What did you say, mate?
I said 4-0.
Darren, what did you say?
1-0.
What did you say?
I said 3-1, but I don't get points for that. It has to be the correct score.
Honestly, I'm fuming because I tipped 3-0 for every home game every time, and I thought we'd get 4 for this one. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that drop off at half time, lads. We've seen it pretty much most of this season. It's been a bit of a blueprint for Leeds, hasn't it? Whether it's half time or like Billy said, it happened way earlier in Watford game, didn't it? You know, when Ramazani went off. But we tend to is it Farke's instructions, or is it the players reserving energy, or is it the other team when they're behind? It's we may as well go for it. Like Watford just went for it when they went behind, and they played really well for like next 70 minutes. Watford, we got out of that one really with that 2-1 win. But
yeah, that one nervy.
That one, because they played really well, But is it us taking foot off gas? Is it Farke's tactics? Because it's something that's definitely there this season. I mean, at half time, 3-0 up at home, you are legitimately looking at that thinking this could be 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, no.
And we took us foot off at gas, and I aren't bothered as a fan, but it is the entertainment business, so I understand a lot of people paying the money, going, and you want them just to be ruthless, don't you? Tekken style, finish him, just go for it, But we tend to not do that. And what do you think it is, Billy?
I think like Leeds fans still expect us to play like Bielsa.
Yeah.
And it's like facts you know what I mean? Like he's a tactician.
He's a lot more reserved in these.
Rather than going out and going gun, you know what I mean? Like
gun ho.
Yeah, if you know what I mean, you score 3, we're gonna score 4.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you know what I mean, as soon as you go 2-0 up, that's it. It gets reserved.
Is it fair to say Farke sees as much beauty in the defensive side of the game as Bielsa did maybe the attack? Do you know what I mean? Like I think Farke really values that clean sheet, and really limiting. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, lads, but we've only conceded 3 shots on goal in the last 4 games, crazy, and they all came in one game. We've had 3 games in the last 4 where they haven't had a shot on goal, and when you think of where Meslier must have been mentally after Sunderland, that team as a unit has come together there and really limited the chances for the opposition in a moment.
Probably the best thing down my
in a moment where he needed.
I think the only weak link in this team probably is Meslier, and we obviously we touched on it a lot, and I'm sure every Leeds fan did after Sunderland, where I think we were all kind of done with Meslier after that. But I think that's probably the way to go this season, is just don't let any shots off, just be rock solid at the back, keep the ball away from as much as we possibly can.
Do you know what I call Meslier?
Sure.
I call him IPF.
IPF.
Do you remember Peacock Farrell?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, and like lads,
just strikes the fear into you, doesn't he?
Lads who sit next to me are just like, you can't say that, and then like literally
say what you want, Billy.
Then he'll, you know what I mean, like he'll concede, he'll concede, or like he'll do like a miraculous save, and it's like, oh, he's the world class, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? And
did you see he had a free kick down in the cop end? And no one around him, we won the free kick, came out there to take it, put the ball down, no one around him, boot the ball into an open space, and he just kicks the ball clean out of play. And it was the one thing that we all talked about Meslier when we seen him in his debut against Arsenal. His distribution, his kicking was absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. We were all looking him to Alisson, Ederson, like his kicking was just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And it was probably one part of his game that we were all saying lovely. It's just the fall off of his distribution. It's just... It's horrendous. And maybe Bielsa worked on it so much with him, knowing that was probably one of his best attributes. The shot stopping is fairly good, but he hasn't improved on his handling from corners. He's always looked flappy. He still looks flappy, and his distribution for me is just absolutely fallen off a cliff.
Do you know what it is with Meslier for me, Darren? You can't really work on your personality and that mental toughness. For me, you've either got it or you haven't, and that's what I think he's always going to lack, that to get to the top of the game. I feel like we've touched on it before. As a young keeper, and he's still got years ahead of him. He's probably got a longer career still than any players currently playing. Even as a goalkeeper, you can go to 40, can't you? And the experience he's got for early 20s,
for being so young,
scandalous. I mean, he's played 200 games probably now at early 20s. But for me, he's always going to have that side to his game where he strikes nerves throughout that back four and throughout that team. And I feel like everyone's had to raise their games to cover.
He feels like the weak link in the team now, doesn't he? And this way, it felt like we were kind of keeping Meslier, because I think always down the line as Leeds fans always looking, we're going to make a massive profit on it, and that's what it kind of felt last season. I thought he would have went last season. I thought when we got relegated, he would have been gone out the door, and to be honest with you, I would have been happy to see him go. But if we go up next season, lads, and we have to improve on that goalkeeping position, we can't go into a Premier League season with Ilya Meslier in nets again. But then who comes in from, where's the return? We've kind of obviously stuck with him over these last couple of seasons. Do you think that's the reason why the club have stuck with him, because they're looking at the longer term future, that there might be a few quid? Or do you actually genuinely think that he actually can progress and to be a top keeper?
I think it's a progression thing. I think it's a progression.
Yeah.
I truly believe it is. It's a progression that
Do you think he can get better though? Because there hasn't been it. It feels like that season in the Premier League, a little bit like Bamford, was probably his best season ever as a goalkeeper, and he's gradually declined every season. And as a goalkeeper, and the age that he's at in the position that he plays, there has to be some sort of signs that he's getting a little bit better. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like he is. And I'm not questioning his shot stopping, because obviously Sargent, we seen it in the playoff semi-final, his shot stopping is unbelievable. But he strikes the fear of God into defence, and I think every Leeds fan.
Look, when we got him, you know, obviously Akiko was main keeper at the time. But when Meslier did start kind of getting a regular appearance, going back to what you said, corners were definitely the weakest. You know, he was just, even now, and anytime there was a corner, I think I can speak for all Leeds fans here, that it was real on the edge of your seat, as opposed to us getting a corner. You know, we were so nervous when we had to defend the corner.
Yeah.
But then, you know, his distribution and his kicking and stuff like that, he just seemed like an overall young talent that was coming through the Leeds ranks. Then time went on, you know, second year in the Premier League, Bielsa stuck with him. Bielsa got the sack, and Marsh came in. And I think that was a self-esteem thing with him as well, because he was so young, and Bielsa kind of gave him such a lease of life at such a young age. You know, for me, like, obviously we know what we think about Bielsa. He's the best manager in the world, and it's clearly obvious that's what Meslier thought of him, because the way that he was playing, he wouldn't have played any other way. He still hasn't, let's be honest, even for Fark. So when they got relegated, I think that was a drop in his own confidence and his own motivation, as you would say. No one has been really there. We touched on it as well, Darren. There's no one there that's kind of behind him, that competition. But I'm always saying,
do we think it's solely down to that though? Do we, like, because obviously, Matty, we did have this conversation before as well, and I think you're saying to yourself, Billy, like, in your workplace, if you can feel the pressure on you that you're not doing well at your job, and the boss is in your ear kind of saying, you know, trying to get the finger out now to someone, like, looking at your position, like, you're going to get the finger out on it. Is it that thing? Is it just that he's not being pushed? Is it because he's hasn't got that fear that he might lose his place next week, that he kind of knows where if I make a mistake like did against Sunderland, I still know I'm going to be in nets next week? Do we think it's just that then?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's because he's a young keeper. He's naive.
Yeah.
You know, he's played so many games, what Matty said, for Leeds, and no one's been touching him there. And that maybe that's an issue as well. Maybe that's what he needs. Maybe just be dropped. You know, give Darlow a shout, and that might give him a bit of.
But in fairness, when Allardyce came in, and that was way too late, and the season was gone, but when he brought Robles in, like, that didn't really seem to kind of give him a little kick up the arse, because when we dropped down to the Championship, he was still kind of doing, you know, the same thing, like, for me. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds with Meslier. But I think the way we all are with Leeds fans at the minute, if we go to the Premier League, we have to improve. And if we are going to keep him, we're going to improve and get better. Like, is he going to be happy enough being a number 2? I don't think so. I don't think he would. Then, you know, when we sell him on, how much are we getting from him?
I think whether we go up or not, we get rid anyway. You know, I think if we go up, great, and it moves on. Like I say, it won't want to be a number 2. And if we stay down here, we need to get someone else. I mean, what do you think, Billy, to this as a shout? If we were to go up, I assume Kelleher from Liverpool. I think it's ready made for us to go up. And I reckon it's ready made for us to go up and put an offer in for him. Me,
I would just trying to think then who would replace him.
I think.
Fairness, now Keller has a few mistakes in him as well. He's lately for Ireland as well. I don't know if any of you seen it. He's had a couple of mistakes for Ireland as well. Still a quality goalkeeper, but I would see 100%, a lot more potential in Kelleher than you would in Meslier. I think he's destined for the top 100%. He's up there with the likes of Shea, given the way he's taught around in Ireland. Bazunu was obviously taught about as well. He's obviously out now with his long-term injury, but Kelleher just absolutely looks a class apart. And if we could get Kelleher and we went up, that would be unbelievable. Our Liverpool is the long-term plan at Liverpool, that he kind of steps into Alisson's position, you know, as well. So let's see how that one goes.
Yeah, I think if we go up, we can do a cheeky bid for him. Even look at this shot.
He's going to want to play week in, week out now. The stage that he's at in his career as well, he's going to want to be up there.
There's a few options out there, you know. There is a few options.
Even Ramsdale.
There always is with keepers.
Get relegated.
There always is with keepers, lads. Yeah,
there is
100%.
Right, so buy him for 15 mil.
Who?
Ramsdale.
I think it was 15. Yeah, I think it was 15.
What
actually,
was
wasn't
a steal for
I
him?
think it was about 15 mil.
Yeah, it wasn't much. I think it was only about 15. Yeah.
Thing is with that, you know, with Meslier, like Darren touched on, they won't want to drop him totally because they need to sort of protect that investment. They're hoping he doesn't have many howlers, and he can get his way through the season. Because stats wise, I think individually, Melior's last season he was poor, like 16th in league for his personal stats, which is mental when you think we finished third. But you think this season, if he don't have any more big errors like that, he is going to have 20 clean sheets. It's going to be, between us and Sheffield United, we're going to have a lot of clean sheets. So personally, that's going to look good on him, even though I'd say it's more of a collective. But they want to try and protect that investment. And if you're saying, Ramsdale went for 15, I would assume we're not going to be getting 25s and 30s like we thought 3-4 years ago, but I would be expecting in between 10 and 15 for Mez anyway. So if we can get someone in of Ramsdale's quality, I don't think there'd be much of a downside to something like that, because I do think we'd get 10 to 15 for Mez. As long as we go up champions and he don't have any more howlers in there.
Any howlers,
yeah. But we'll have to see. But moving on anyway to midweek. So we've got Millwall. Is it Wednesday? I think
Wednesday, yeah.
And then QPR at home on Saturday, which. Yeah,
and another international break, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Honestly, a buzzkill, Dillo. Yeah, it's a nice one, yeah.
Honestly, it seems like every 2 weeks.
It's crazy though, isn't it? The last international break, even though you hate it when it's happening, the last international break, I think as Leeds fans we were ready for it, weren't we? With injuries and stuff.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, we're crying out for it, yeah.
I fully expect 6 points this week.
And then obviously the first game back after the international break was Sheffield United, and we all know that first game back after the international break, it's just like basically a write off for Leeds. And obviously myself and Dylan travelled over it, and we're going into the ground going, please, let's just break this course today, and we did. And it seems like Fark does do that in fairness, and it kind of seems like even like the hoodoo about going down to London, he broke that last season. After the international breaks, he's broke it this season, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel a lot of hoodoo people go on about, Dillo's massive, I don't know about you, Billy, Dillo's massive on the Leeds side of stuff, like you can never get too carried away. Don't matter if we're spanking teams or we're winning 10 games in a row. Have you got that little bit in the back of your head as a Leeds fan where you're just scarred and you always think there's a something coming round the corner?
Literally, do you know what? Yeah, the only team going to beat Leeds this season are Leeds.
That's what we always say.
Everyone's saying that. And everyone's saying that.
Do you know what? And we're like Spurs.
Very Spursy, very Leedsy.
We're very Spursy, and it's like, it's annoying, but
it's funny though, Billy. You say that.
It's just it's the mental scars, isn't it? It's just just the Wayne. It's the Wayne.
I always compare it to like a bad breakup. You have to find out the missus at the cheating on you, and you'll never ever trust.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You love her. You love her, but you'll never trust her.
It's crazy to use that analogy though, but it is because we love Leeds that fucking much.
So
it's like
much,
your family. It all, like we say, it crosses past sometimes your family and your kids and Leeds. It's so closely intertwined. So it sounds crazy. It's like a breakup, but it is. Like Billy said, they're still hurting from Derby.
Honestly,
it's still there. It don't go away no matter how many highs you have.
But even going into the playoffs, lads, when obviously we made the playoffs last season, that's what everyone was talking about. Like, we thought we're the best. Like, we're 100%. We're winning the playoffs. Probably not even had the late on. But every other late time was going to say, we don't do well in the playoffs. We're not winning this another year in the championship. We were all saying before we even kicked the ball. And then obviously we done what we done to Norwich down there, Carrow Road, 0-0. That's it. Everyone threw the toys out the pram going, we're not doing it. What was Fark doing? We never went for it. And then 4-0 down at home, we're all saying, we're going up. So it is. I think after, because we went to the Norwich City game, and when we walked out there and we got to the final, it felt like we kind of got promoted already. And Leeds just went and did Leeds and just gave that another little knife to the back of you and just left another little scar.
But yet again, we'll always predict scores and we'll always put it for Leeds. It's
you'll always you say that she cheats on you, but you'll always open the door again and go, come back in, come on, I'll take you back, come on.
Have the red panties on, we're ready to go.
I was talking to Wayne, Sunderland fan who come on channel, top guy on Only Fools and SAFC, and he was saying when I spoke to him, we think it's always Leedsy or like Billy says, Spursy. I think every team's got it, because he says they're saying is we're doing a Sunderland, and he said to me last week, we're going away to QPR. I don't think we'll win. I'm sort of looking at it going, you will, and they got a draw, which he said he'd take, but he says it, and I think every club sort of says, I'm sure Liverpool say, we're doing a Liverpool. I'm sure every single team has a section of fan base
somewhere along the line,
But I think as Leeds fans, we always think the worst. But I do think it's a trend for everyone. Like I say, they call it we're doing a Sunderland, so it's just.
But even the year we got promoted, as when COVID came along, I was just look, just typical. One year we're going to win the league. COVID wants to come along, and they were talking about voiding leagues and all. I was like, if that was the most Leeds thing ever, that would have happened like that would have just proven that Leeds were like a course football club after that. But obviously we got it over the line. But yeah, I just think it's the mental scars of the Leeds way, isn't it?
I've been a Leeds fan for 38 years and I'm used to the Leeds way. So if we lose, I just shrug my shoulders and say it's Leeds being Leeds. Hey, mate, if you can shrug your shoulders and get on with a smile on your face, Danny, man, happy days.
Danny's missus coming home. We cheated on you again. No, come on.
So anyway, going on to Wednesday night away at Millwall, are we hopeful? Well, say hopeful. Are we expecting 3 points, should I say? Or do we think out the next 2 games, it's the one we'll drop points on? I'll go to you first, Dillo, because I'm expecting you to say we're not going to get 3 points.
I knew it was going to be me. I knew it was going to be me. You know. Right, I'll see you all. Thanks very much for watching.
What are you going, Dillo? Come on.
So,
go football. Go on, Sean.
I'm going to try it out here. This is the one I said we weren't going to do. If I'm being completely honest with you, I just think the Leedsy way, if I'm being honest with you. But I did say to Darren yesterday, the performance that we had against Plymouth kind of hopefully will give us a kick up the arse and get it over the line. So, under the circumstances of winning, I'm going to say 1-0 to Leeds.
Ooh. I thought you were going to go like Danny 1-1. Danny always goes for a tight. Danny, you always go for a tight game, Danny.
I'll never, ever, throughout this whole YouTube, I'll never, ever say a draw. I'm always going to say a win. But, as I said...
Would you take a draw, though?
Yeah.
This is a good point by Danny, though. This is a good point here, because I've been writing Millwall off just thinking
that's Millwall. Everyone's been writing them off, and then I looked at the form here today, and... Yeah,
right, what I'm trying to say, basically, I'm saying Leeds are going to win 1-0. But this is the one that I don't think we're going to get across the line. So I'm 50-50. But I'm going to say if we were to win, it'll only be by 1-0.
I think it'll be a tough game. Yeah.
What about you, Billy?
I think it'll be a draw. They just beat Thingy today, haven't they? Burnley.
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah, they beat Burnley as well.
Yeah, and the one. Oh, yeah, I think they've won the last 3, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they're like third or fourth, Darren, in form table or something recently. They're doing really well out there.
I didn't see in the form table, but just seeing, they're unbeaten in the last 5, so
going
they're
down
flying
to London midweek as well.
London as well on a Wednesday. Leeds midweek in London against Millwall. What's the worst that can happen? You know.
Yeah, it's a bit of a.
Do you know what it is though? I think it shows how weak the league is, though, Darren. You know, when you think Millwall are 7th and we're worried about we should be worried about going to Millwall because, like Billy said, it's a Wednesday night and it's London. That's fair enough. I get that. That's the Leedsy tag again, right? But we shouldn't be worried about going down there because they're in form. That's fair enough. They're in form for them.
Yeah.
But it's the standard of the league. Leeds are superior to any of these last 5 results they've had. So for me, man for man, you know, if we play our game, we beat them well. But yeah, that Leeds attack comes back. But how do you feel it'll go, pal?
I just think they're going to frustrate the life out of us. I think it's going to be typical. I think they're going to be up for it at the end. I think they're just going to frustrate the life out of us. They'll probably sit in.
Oh, you think they'll sit in?
I think they're going to sit in. I think they'll absolutely frustrate the life out. I think we'll have all the ball, and then they'll probably get one for. I think it's going to be scrappy. I agree with the lads. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds win, just because I just can't say for us to lose or draw with Millwall. I'm always going to say that we have to beat Millwall, but I do kind of echo what the lads say. Like, it's going to be a cagey game. I think it'll probably be a little bit dirty. Wouldn't be even surprised if it was a red card in it. You probably expect with Leeds and Millwall. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game down there. But I think we'll probably just scrape it 2-1.
I think, I can't disagree with that, Paul.
Are they doing a light show or something before?
Yeah, they don't like. See, all our fans are breaking down. They're like, follow the club now.
You know what I mean?
Millwall doing a light show. Like, who would have thought? Like,
I mean, I'm going to say I think we'll win 2-0, but I do think Melee is going to get tested in this game. I don't think there's no way it's going to be no shots on target. I feel like set pieces, corners, free kicks, they're really going to stick it. A bit like Watford did, they really put it on Melee's toes, whipping crosses in. And I tend to think it's not going to be an easy game for Melee, this one. So he needs to stand up, or we could easily
everyone's going to start picking up. We can see as Leeds fans that his weakness is corners and balls into the box on top, because you'd see him, there's times that he's down in the box and he's throwing his hands up at the ref kind of saying, he's pulled me, and it's just like, no, he's barely even touched Elan, like, get up. And
yeah, but the height of him, like, you know what I mean?
Like, the height for the tall lad.
He's like a tree in the middle of the box. in the box.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Probably once
he's
where this
doing-
game where he could has actually bulk up a little bit like Aronson just to get that bit of
I don't
muscle on
understand the
himself.
punching. Like,
Teams are going to start, like if we're saying as Leeds fans, like teams are going to start realising as well that they're just going to put Elan under so much pressure like that. Just put 5 or 6 bodies in on top of him and whip the corner straight in on top of him. Anything can happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if Millwall try that as well.
Why can't he catch a ball? Though? Why is he always punching? Like, why does he have to punch every corner? Like, he's not even punching it in a clearance. He's punching it arse ways.
Yeah,
If I'm being completely
it's not
honest.
like he ever
Like,
gets a clean fist on it. Yeah, it always just breaks it outside the
if
box.
you're in the
or
same
something.
room as him and there was a plaster wall there, I wouldn't even say he put his fist through that.
He hit the door instead.
You'll get that a lot, won't you, Billy, in South Stand as well, big going to games, you know, Melier punching out irritates the life out of
Yeah,
fans,
no,
doesn't
it does. It does. And like it didn't it, and it's and there's been a couple of games in as well, like they've ended up scoring from him punching it out.
Yeah, last year,
You
he
know
had
what
a
I mean?
couple
Whip
of-
it into the
Last
box
year.
and then literally like he's halfway out of his box anyway.
yeah.
It's
I don't know if
just,
that's
yeah.
something. I don't know if that's something with him that he just ain't the best catcher in the world, and you know, between coaching staff on training field, it's something
He's just been
tried.
told to punch
Yeah,
it.
and he's just tried to execute that to the best of his ability. And to be fair, some games he gets it quite well, and it doesn't matter. But like you say, Billy, you know, he has had odd time before where he ain't connected well, and you know, when you're coming out, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 meters, if you're not connected with that ball and sending it 20 meters downfield, you're always going to be, you know, on back foot with that. So as a fan,
Yeah.
you just want him to come out, catch it. You know, I always look back. I know he's a scum player, but I always look back to, you know, like old school, like Peter Schmeichel back when I was a kid, and you just wanted,
Just being dominant, just take the pressure off. Yeah, come out, clean everyone out of it. Yeah,
he's just he's flapping around, and yeah, like you say, last thing you want to see is that in it. You just want someone to come out, catch it,
falling backwards and throwing his hands.
Everyone fucking get up pitch and then I'll do, you know, and hit it long sometimes. Whereas,
because the thing is about keepers, like 9 times out of 10, they will always get the free kick. So if he's coming aggressive as anything to clean someone out of it, if he hits someone, more than likely he's gonna get the free out as well. So just go for it like that. Don't be flappy at it. It's like what you've said, mate. He doesn't seem confident in himself at all. And yeah, we seem okay at corners now at the moment, but I just fear that teams are just going to start turning the screw a little bit more than us when they realise what Melier is doing.
I agree, mate. I agree with Danny as well, mate. Yeah,
got a decent little run now, though, haven't we? So
yeah,
we have, pal. They did it with Burnley. The balls in the air, and the Burnley had their chances. So, yeah, like I say, I think that's how we'll stick it on us. You know, they're a physical side, Millwall. They aren't going to be able to go toe-to-toe with us. You know, it's like,
they'll want to get us turned on that.
Yeah, it's like in a boxing ring, innit? Styles makes fights and stuff, and you play to your strengths, don't you? Know, if you're a bigger guy, you'll lean on them and you'll try and wear them out. And you know, when it comes to football, you know, they know they can't go toe-to-toe with us in terms of personnel, class, speed, skill. They just can't.
Yeah.
So if they
have to mix it up big time with us. Yeah.
So like, if they get their games style right, we could have all ball, like you say, we could have 70% of ball. We could look really well, miss a couple of big chances, and you come out of there with a 1-0 loss. That's how these games, you know, do worry us as fans. But like I say, I think we'll get 3 points and move on. I expect the QPR at home to be very similar to Plymouth one, if I'm honest. It's just that midweek one, but hopefully we can get 6 points. Go into international break a little bit fed up that we've got one, to be honest, and not be happy we've got one this time. But yeah, is there anything anyone else wants to touch on, lads? I've missed, or anything you want to bring up?
No, Billy's looking a little bit better there now. I need to start the stream. He's definitely starting to come around. Keep getting that water into you, pal. You're getting there.
We're on a bit now.
Have you got any stories to tell us, Billy, from your travels? I know you get to a few away games, and I don't know if anyone knows Billy, but yeah, he's
all the illegal ones are going through his head now.
Southstandcamlufc, LUFC, mate.
I went to my first away day was Sheffield Wednesday. You know, on Friday night, and they were Click and Reach who scored. Two absolute bangers.
Belters,
I think it was the season we got before. No,
it was the season before, wasn't it?
Reach
scored. Remember the goals Reach scored that year? He was unbelievable for them. Yeah. Some of the goals he was scoring for them.
And so, literally, we've gone down to Turnstile at half time. Like that. Oh, get a pint. Gone there like that. No beer. Like you can either have water or milk. And like what? And like literally that was like my first memory. And then after that, I haven't, you know what I mean? Like I haven't seen any other clubs not give us beer at half time.
Yeah.
Only Sheffield Wednesday.
Was that the same this season as well? Did he not do that at all at Wednesday? Did he not give Leeds fans beer?
I didn't go this season. I didn't go to Sheffield. I didn't go to Wednesday this season.
If there was one way game I want to be at, it was that one. Just for your man with the pie. What a legend.
That was cool.
What a legend.
I remember that.
To be fair, Billy, if you would have been there, you'd have got that on your footage. Because if you look at Southstand LUFC, Cam LUFC on TikTok, you're in thick of it. Like you've got some great footage, mate. Like,
it makes you feel like you're there at times, doesn't it? Like when you're watching it, you're just like you're in it. It makes you feel like you've been there, you've been at it. Like
I love it. I think your most watched one on TikTok's the Kieran Trippier corner, in it, and you just give him an absolute pelt as well. He's taking a corner.
And literally, how he just like he puts ball down, like looks up and winks at us, and all that. When I got that video like that to my mate, I said, "Mate, I've just caught." He just winked. Yeah, literally. Then it just went. Put that on, and it went nuts. And then
I read comments, mate, and it's mint. You've got all Newcastle fans and that giving you stick because they beat us, I think, on that day, and it's just.
I don't even read my comments anymore, you know.
Nah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I read some. You shouldn't read them, Billy. You shouldn't.
Like
keep doing what you're doing, just don't read them.
Yeah, I've got like when I did read them, like I've got like loads of Man United fans in my comments. You know what I mean? Like that. Like knife signs, you know what I mean? Like Turkey.
You're only here to see the Leeds. You're only here.
Absolutely obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Like, we'd never go out my way to like write on or go on any Legion or any scum content to write and say something on it. Like if something comes up, like if it's a mate of mine and like that scummer at the Lils, I'd obviously stick the boot in and like have a bit of crack. But I'd never go out my way to find a scum content to write on it to like wind them up. Like,
do you know what I done? I swear to God, this is a few years ago.
Like they'll follow you, and it's like what?
Weirdos. It was a few years ago. I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook or it could have been X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I was scrolling through anyway, and Man United like official thing came up, and the first thing I was like, well, get that off my thing straight away. But I hit the 3 dots. But when I hit it, it was like report offensive. So that was the first thing that I was saying. Don't ever show me that on my social media ever again. I don't want to see it. I don't acknowledge it. No, that's crime. That's criminal for me to be seeing that on my social media.
I was showing we've a video of Dylan would see it as well. My son Sam, he knows like all the football clubs crest, so you go through. But as soon as he comes to United, he just goes scum. But I'll send it on to you. Cracker, Billy, right? But there's like, do you remember Cadbury's were doing like the thing? It was like Liverpool, Arsenal, United, scum, and then Leeds were there. So there was this banner outside our local shop and had all the crest he was going through, and he calls Leeds Super Leeds. So he's going through it, and it comes to United, and he's scum. But we were outside a restaurant one time in Spain last year, just before we got married, and there was this lad wearing a scum trainer top, and he's coming out and he's like, "Now is everyone ready to order?" And my little lad just stands up and just goes, "Scum!" And he's only 2.5. Like, the whole family just looked at me and just goes, like, "Yes, doing God's good work."
It was probably for me as an uncle. It was probably the most proudest moment of my life.
I had a little tear in my eye, like I was just like, "Yes, I've done it."
Just because I'm interested, Billy. Who's been, obviously out at Southstand, you're closer to the away fans than me. Who's been the best side that's visited Old Trafford in terms of the stick they've given, the numbers, the volume, they've sort of gone toe to toe with you as a stand? In general, what you've seen in total, plus in the Championship, who's been the best supporter? Just say who's come to Welland Road.
Oh,
in your opinion, I suppose it depends on the result as well, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But who's come and they've really stuck it on with support, and you thought fair play? I'm
going to say Prem, Villa.
All right.
And Championship.
Be careful now. Be careful.
Championship. I'd probably go Wednesday.
Wednesday, they give it some, regardless of result.
And do you know what? They always bring good numbers as well.
Yeah.
Pompey were very good the opening day as well. I thought their fans, obviously, the opening day of the season, they're after getting promoted and all that. Pompey, they were very good the first day of the season.
Yeah, they were good. They were bang up for it though. But
and even after the game, because they like, look, we could have won it, they could have won it. It was a draw, but kind of felt like just with us coming back and. We could have won it as well, but even at the end of the game, they were still hopping, weren't they? As well, they were delighted with their draw as well. So yeah, I thought
word has it, Darren, that the railings is still vibrating and rattling as we speak.
He loves bringing this up.
I just wonder, do you know what? Because like they've started introducing safe standing.
Yeah,
they've done half at Cop.
Yeah.
They've started on away. They've started on West Stand, in the away section, but. On you know what I mean? In Southland, they haven't touched it, which I think is weird. I don't understand why. I don't understand why they haven't.
Because you're beautiful, Billy. They don't need to mess with your standards. It's beautiful, beautiful as it is.
No, literally, you should see my knees, mate. They're black and blue.
I love it.
Literally black and blue.
Class.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that. Literally, just check them out, man. But I think they'll start doing that hopefully next season.
Wasn't there talk about that before though? And because remember he took the boxes out. Wasn't there talk then that they were meant to put safe standing in? It obviously just never, because it doesn't seem to be anything about it. But I remember at one stage there was talk about going in, especially when they were putting them in the cup. Wasn't there talk about them? They were meant to go into the south stand.
Yeah, well,
just doesn't ever seem to.
If you look at the cup after the game, literally like all like top from the top left halfway across. Like majority of it's done.
Yeah, so, yeah, because we were in it for the Sheffield United, and it's so much better. It's so like you're not gonna see a Leeds game anyway, but yeah, it's just so much better to safe standing.
Oh yeah, it's so much better. You know what I mean? Like, and for my knees as well.
Yeah, imagine the carnage in the south stand.
Imagine me down in there with my knees.
Say that again.
My knees, I have bad knees as well. Like, so for me to be in there. You know,
we're gonna send you to the west. You could just sit down.
One of the lads we actually used to sit with in Southstand, he's actually moved to North East Upper because of his knees. So I've got bad knees, and it's like, hang on, you've gone from like middle of the Southstand to like even more of a walk. You know what I mean?
no stairs in East Upper, mate, and a bugger. But yeah, I love it when you get up there.
I haven't been up there in. The last, in fact, probably like my first game when I went to, I think it was Roma in Champions League.
Wow.
Literally, I haven't been up there since then.
Nah, it's class, mate. It's class.
I've been there a good few times. That's the only choice you get when you're noise
reporters
for tickets. No, you take what you go.
I remember when I first got my season ticket, and that wasn't even open.
Yeah. Right one. Crazy.
You know what I mean? And then they started opening it back up, and now. It's full every week.
But like Darren said, though, even when that top tier went open, you know, in League One days, and you look at some of the goals, you know, like when Beckford scored and we were doing really well in League One, you know, you could see empty seats all over, but the atmosphere was still bouncing, you know what I mean?
Because when
we're in Doldrums, you know, regardless of numbers, we come together, don't we? So it's one of them. But no, I'm getting mindful of time now because poor Darren's got loads of sunbathing to do tomorrow. I don't want to keep him up to it. It's what. Yeah.
I'll send you a picture. Noise and early in the morning.
The week off.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this one because I don't want to make you cringe, Billy, being a South Stander because you're a proper lad who's been on sauce all weekend. But I normally do a sing song, but I'll leave it up to the lads to decide if I should do. When they call me Noel Whelan, they say I look like Noel Whelan, Billy. I don't see it. But
this is something I always look forward to, like in my week.
You have to give us a sing song, mate. You have to. Look, I'm not signing off. I won't leave you alone for the night. I'll just keep ringing you all night to give me a sing song. Anyway,
you may leave. We're staying live, even though you can control to turn us off until you sing us a song. You know?
What was that, Dillo?
I can't hear you.
I said I usually look forward to this.
Danny noise. Doesn't rain in the pub.
So you'll have to give us a song, even though you can stop the live any time.
You've got more chance of platting piss, mate.
I'll give it a good go at platting that piss bit to get you singing a song, lad.
Literally, if I've had 10 pints, yeah, you might, you know what I mean? Like, you might have had a chance, but I've been on parties today, mate.
I've had one mad drill, lads, and I'll sing us out.
Let's go, bro, Matty. What are you giving us?
What are we going with today?
Boys, though. Really
no, yeah, Billy. Before I sing us out, like an absolute bell end. Everyone check out all the Leeds bros, Darren and Dylan, mint content. Say Final Pint going forward every week, but the content, you know, is just brilliant. Two brothers having a chinwag about Leeds United. I always say the luckiest, but my brother's a Chelsea fan, so I'm fuming. But these two,
you're an adopted brother now, mate. We've brought you on. You're the adopted brother.
I am. So yeah, check their page out.
I will do. I'll give you both a follow as well, boys.
Sound noise.
And then obviously with Billy, check out Southstandcamlufc on TikTok and on YouTube. Like you say, some pelters in there. Just genuine lad, Billy. I've known him from a fair few years now. We used to work together. And goes to Leeds, up and down country, and just loves it. Just like us. Does football the proper way. So go watch.
Any boys going Blackburn?
No, we wish.
We're not.
We wish.
But no.
Definitely,
Next one, I'm
yeah.
looking at Derby. Derby probably be the next one for me.
Okay.
Phones and Christmas and stuff like that. Yeah, Derby home, I'd say, be the next one. But I think, and we playing Derby the Saturday and Borough on the Tuesday, so I'm going to try and make it a double header.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Derby will go and have literally just drop me a message and we'll meet up and have some beers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I
Definitely.
love that. Yeah,
That's right up my street. I love that idea.
Well, a lot of time we go to Peacock before games, so
Yeah,
it's either town or Peacock.
yeah,
But yeah,
love it. 100%.
yeah, drop me a message and literally we'll meet up and have a couple of beers.
I'll probably have to
love
sell the
that.
house if I'm going to Blackburn and not Derby and the other one.
Right. Anyways, everyone
Maddie,
watching, stick a
take
like.
it away.
Stick a like on the video, please. Check out the guys who have been on tonight. And yeah, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm only singing this because
Neil Diamond, give me a bit of Sweet Caroline.
No. I've got this is a bit
He's
of
a good one. He's a good one more than now.
The kids have been singing this all day, so it's in my mind.
He's a grin on his face here. This is going to be a good one.
Mate, it's a One Direction one, but you know my son who's got autism, yeah? He's just been playing it over and over and over for the last 2 days. So it's stuck in my mind. So if you ask me for a song, I can't think of no else other than this. So right, it's going to get cringy here, Billy, so we're going to go in a minute, yeah? I'll be clicking head stream. Right. We're only getting older, baby, and I've been thinking about you lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes, and everything that you've ever dreamed of is disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of, because Leeds are going up this year. Right, take care, everyone.
See you.
Thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Love it. Cheers, lads.